Hello, you're kicking off the Friday's edition of Qpvn English News Bulletin with Milingji and the headlines. Putting people as center, the heart of HANOI'S development. Vietnam People's Army makes outstanding performance in UN peacekeeping operations. Records of loyalty and affection. On the morning of October the 16th, Party General Secretary Do Lam attended and delivered a keynote address at the 18th Congress of the Hanoi Party Committee for the 2025-2030 tenure. The event was also attended by President Lương Cường, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính, National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn, standing member of the Party Central Committee Secretariat Trần Cẩm Tú, along with leaders and former leaders of the party, state, central agencies, militaries, and sectors. General Phan Văn Gia, Minister of National Defense, attended the event. Over the past tenure, the Hanoi Party Committee, authorities, armed forces, and citizens have united to overcoming challenges, successfully implementing the resolutions of the 17th Congress. Hanoi's economy has reaffirmed its role as a driving force for the capital region, the northern key economic region, and the whole country. Social welfare has been ensured, while people's material and spiritual life has improved, and national defense, security, and social order have been fully maintained. Addressing the event, Party General Secretary Do Lam emphasized that the Hanoi Party Committee, authorities, and people must fully grasp the special position and role of the capital in national development. He urged a fundamental shift in mindset with a new spirit of governance that is Hanoi does whatever it says as fast, as right, as effectively, and as to completion. The Party General Secretary underscored that heritage, identity, creativity must be placed at the core of all development orientations for the capital, seeing these as powerful indigenous resources that form the foundation of Hanoi's character, intellect, and vitality. He stressed the need for a comprehensive development strategy integrating culture, spatial planning, economy, and human development. People must be placed at the center and serve as the measure of all development efforts to build a humane, happy, just, and civilized capital, a cultural and intellectual model leading the country. In every development strategy, people must be both the starting point and the ultimate goal. He also requested that Hanoi remain a stronghold of political stability, security, and social order while intensifying external relations, regional and international integration, and expanding cooperation networks with major global cities. The city should take an active role in international networks of green, smart, creative cities. On October the 16th, in Thái Nguyên Province, Party General Secretary Do Lam visited and encouraged people in the flooded areas. General Phan Văn Gia, Minister of National Defense, joined the working delegation. Party General Secretary Do Lam inspected the work of overcoming the flood consequences in Bến Tượng Rich area, Thái Nguyên Province. The province suffered property losses of over $680 million caused by floods. More than 50,000 officers, soldiers, and militiamen of Thái Nguyên Province, Military Zone 1, and the Ministry of National Defense participated in rescue operations as mounting floods aftermath, helping stabilize people's lives. Party General Secretary Do Lam deeply sympathized with the deputies' losses and pain of the locals in Thái Nguyên Province affected by floods and natural disasters, and praised the efforts of the military, police, and other forces in supporting the people before, during, and after the floods. He asked the party committee and local authorities of Thái Nguyên Province and the armed forces to proactively respond to climate change by many different ways. He hoped that local people would continue to stay united to overcome all difficulties, stabilize their lives, and prepare for the upcoming Tet holidays. On this occasion, Party General Secretary Do Lam presented gifts to support people in flood-hit areas of Thái Nguyên Province and encouraged the military and police forces to help people surmount the consequences of natural disasters. On October the 16th in Thái Nguyên Province, Party General Secretary Tô Lâm attended and delivered a keynote speech at the ceremony marking the 80th founding anniversary of Military Reason 1, October the 16th, 1945, and the presentation of the Ho Chi Minh Order. Also in attendance were leaders of the party, state government, National Assembly, and Vietnam Fatherland Front, along with representatives of militaries and agencies. General Phan Van Gia, Minister of National Defense, General Trịnh Văn Quyết, Chairman of the General Political Department of the Vietnam People's Army, and other senior and former military leaders were present. Over the past 80 years of building, fighting, and growing, Military Reason 1 has upheld its revolutionary spirit and fostered a proud tradition of loyalty, pioneering, solidarity, and victory. The military region has consistently worked and implemented the party and state's military and defense guidelines, maintained situational awareness, and closely coordinated with local authorities to successfully fulfill defense and military tasks in the area. General Secretary Tô Lâm emphasized that the armed forces of Military Reason 1 must continue to thoroughly work the party's guidelines and the state's policies and laws, especially the 13th Party Central Committee's Resolution No. 8 on the strategy for national protection in the new situation. He urged the region to stay proactive in assessing and forecasting situations, thereby advising the Central Military Commission, Ministry of National Defense, and the party and state on key solutions for defense and national protection. You are to continue to deeply internalize the party's military and defense guidelines, fully grasp the mission of national protection in the new context, focus on building a revolutionary, regular, elite, and broadened armed forces, strengthen overall combat capacity and readiness, ensuring the armed forces of Military Reason 1 remain compact, strong, and effective. On behalf of the party and state leadership, Party General Secretary Tô Lâm presented the Ho Chi Minh Order to Military Reason 1, expressing confidence that its armed forces will continue to work closely with other forces in implementing foreign policy and building a border of peace and friendship. He commended the region's proud achievements over the past 8 decades, a source of invaluable experience and momentum that will continue to guide Military Reason 1 forward. These achievements, he affirmed, have significantly contributed to building the Việt Bắc Military Reason 1 area into a region strong in economy, stable in politics, firm in defense and security, rich in culture and society, and steadfast on the path of renewal, industrialization, and modernization, fulfilling the mission of firmly safeguarding the country. On October the 16th, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính attended a ceremony to mark the 80th founding anniversary of Military Reason 5 Armed Forces, October the 16th, 1945-2025, and received the Ho Chi Minh Order in Da Nang City. General Nguyễn Tân Cương, Chief of the General Staff and Deputy Minister of National Defense, and other military leaders joined the event. Founded on October the 16th, 1945, evolving from the Battle Guerrilla Unit and other self-defense forces, the armed forces of Military Reason 5 has grown steadily through decades of the national resistance wars. In recognition of their outstanding achievements and glorious traditions, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính presented the Ho Chi Minh Order to Military Reason 5 Armed Forces. In his address, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính emphasized that through various periods, Military Reason 5 Armed Forces have always promoted self-reliance, resilience, and excellence in accomplishing all assigned missions. He requested Military Reason 5 to thoroughly grasp President Ho Chi Minh thought and the party's or people defense policy by continuing to build a contingent of officers and soldiers with firm political willpower, comprehensive capability, and innovative spirit, worthy of the trust of the party, the state, and the people. On October the 16th, the Ministry of National Defense held a conference at the Department of Peacekeeping Operations to review the service term of Military Engineering Unit Rotation 3 at Level 2 Field Hospital Rotation 6. Senior Lieutenant General Hoàng Xuân Chiến, Deputy Defense Minister, chaired the event. After a year of deployment, both units successfully fulfilled their missions at the UNPKO and UNPKO and returned home safely. Military Engineering Unit Rotation 3 repaired and upgraded over 300 kilometers of roads, built two large-scale workshops, introduced a smart campus model, and applied K31 soil stabilization technology to treat 27,000 square meters of airfield, achievements highly praised by the missions. Meanwhile, Level 2 Field Hospital Rotation 6 treated more than 2,600 patients and successfully managed many severe cases beyond UN standards, earning commendation letters and recognition at the UN headquarters. Both contingents also performed well in security, logistics, technical support, and civil-military relations. Senior Lieutenant General Huang Sun-Chin urged the Vietnam Department of Peacekeeping Operations to continue effective management of mission units, coordinate closely with relevant agencies in training and logistics, and ensure appropriate policies for returning personnel, with preparing high-quality forces for the 2025-2030 phase. On the occasion of the 95th anniversary of the Vietnam Women's Union, on October the 16th, Senior Lieutenant General Lê Quang Minh, Vice Chairman of the General Political Department of the Vietnam People's Army, paid a visit to extend congratulations to the Vietnam Women's Union in Hanoi. Senior Lieutenant General Lê Quang Minh conveyed his warmest greetings to all female officers and members nationwide on this meaningful occasion. He also expressed his sincere appreciation for the Union's close coordination and support in caring for and creating favorable conditions for women in the military to develop comprehensively and fulfill their assigned duties. The representative of the Vietnam Women's Union expressed deep gratitude to the General Political Department for its consistent attention, companionship, and facilitation for the Military Women Advisory Board to operate effectively, thus achieving remarkable results, further highlighting the noble qualities of UNPKO soldiers, contributing to building the image of the Vietnamese women in the new era as intelligent, courageous, compassionate, and responsible. Coming up next, UNESCO proves Vietnam's initiative. Records of loyalty and affection. On October the 15th at UNESCO headquarters in Paris, the 222nd session of the UNESCO Executive Board unanimously adopted Vietnam's initiative proposing that the United Nations consider proclaiming an international decade on culture for sustainable development, preferably for the period 2027-2036. Ambassador Nguyễn Thị Vân Anh, head of Vietnam's permanent delegation to UNESCO, presented the initiative, emphasizing its overarching goal to promote culture's crucial role in advancing sustainable development, addressing global challenges, and ensuring a safe and prosperous future for all. Under procedure, the proposal will next be submitted to the UNESCO General Conference in November 2025 and to the UN General Assembly in 2026. Nevertheless, UNESCO endorsement marks a significant first step toward the potential declaration of this international decade, a milestone reflecting Vietnam's growing global influence. This initiative demonstrates Vietnam's commitment to implementing party and state policies on international integration, cultural revitalization, and the enhancement of multilateral and cultural diplomacy. It also represents a meaningful contribution to advancing UNESCO mission and goals, particularly in the cultural domain, while showcasing Vietnam's proactive and responsible engagement as a member of the UNESCO Executive Board for the 2021-2025 term. This year marked the 65th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Vietnam and Cuba. For more than 6 decades, countless gestures of solidarity and friendship have become part of history, powerful symbols of a bond that transcends geography and time. In recent days, the Vietnamese people have added another remarkable chapter to this legacy through the campaign, 65 Years of Vietnam-Cuba Friendship. Launched by the Vietnam Red Cross Society on August 13, 2025, the campaign aims to raise at least $65 million to support the Cuban people. Its message of solidarity quickly spread nationwide, embraced by people from all walks of life. Even Vietnamese peacekeeping officers on duty in distant South Sudan judged the effort. Singers, actors, and public figures also rallied their communities to contribute. Each person contributes a small part to the fund. In our fan group, I encourage one another just the cost of a breakfast, a cup of coffee, or a milk tea, because every little act of kindness counts. According to the organizers, even as Vietnam was coping with storms and floods, many still shared that they could half for domestic relief and half for their Cuban friends. The campaign's first phase alone raised 385 billion Vietnam dollars, which was promptly delivered to Cuba to help the islands of freedom overcome the impact of natural disaster and economic blockade.
Hombro con hombro, codo con codo.
We deeply appreciate this warm gesture from the Vietnamese people. In just a few dozen hours, the campaign's target was met, providing crucial financial support to ease the severe effects of the economic, trade, and financial blockades against Cuba. We are truly moved. The Vietnamese people have never forgotten Cuba's unwavering support during the war, embodied in Fidel Castro's immortal declaration. For Vietnam, Cuba is willing to shed its own blood. With its resulting success, the campaign, 65 years of Vietnam-Cuba friendship, stands as the record of compassion, a testament to the enduring, exemplary bond between the two nations. It is the end of the latest news bulletin today. Watch our news again at qpvn.vn. Goodbye and see you next time.